everyone, Ben and Up here, and we know that when you visit Universal for the first time, there is so much to think about. From where to book your tickets, where to stay, how to avoid all of the crowds. There's just so much to think about that can make life stressful. So today, we're gonna go over our top 5 tips to help you plan your first vacation to Universal.
Theme parks are complicated, but we are here to simplify them because we know that your time with your family is precious and you just want to have the best vacation that you possibly can have. Not only are there a lot of coordinations that you have to do prior to getting here, but there's just a ton of things to do in the parks themselves. So these tips are going to help you navigate all things in regards to Universal.
Tip number 1, and that is to stay on property. Now, we know a lot of you who are coming to Universal for the very first time are coming in from out of state, just like ourselves. We had a 6-hour drive to get here yesterday. Now, when coming to Universal, unlike the House of Mouse, everything is here in one place. So if you stay on property, you can walk to islands, you can walk to studios, you can use a shuttle, you can have a water taxi. Everything gets you to where you need to be. It is fantastic. Now, if you're driving, nice thing is that you can leave your car at the hotel and really you can get wherever you want to go with the free transportation services that Universal provides. If you are flying, we have a special pro tip for you, and that is if you're flying into MCO, then book a Lyft or an Uber to get your family from the hotel to your resort when you're staying on site. Why do we say this? Well, there's some other options to be able to get on property when you're staying here. You can rent a car. You only really need it for that drive. Why would you pay that kind of money? You can use the Superstar shuttle, which is fine and really great for a bigger family trying to get from the airport to your hotel, but it's not the most timely option, and sometimes you have to wait, and sometimes it's slow, and we found that we prefer taking a Lyft or an Uber to get us from the airport to the hotel. Staying on property has its perks. You get early park admission, you have access to having items delivered back to your room, and just in general, the hotels here at Universal are fantastic. You really can't go wrong with any of them. There are options in all price points, from the value to the premier, and it's just a great place to stay. So, when booking your Universal Orlando vacation, plan to stay on site. If you're enjoying this video so far, be sure to subscribe to our channel. It really helps us out, and we've got a lot more great content like this. Now, on to our next mistake, which a lot of people we've talked to have made, so don't let that be you.
The wait for MIB wasn't so long. I challenged Ob to a game of Alien Blast and reestablish dominance. But it's well over an hour. We get asked this next tip quite often, and that's how long should I plan to be at Universal for a Universal Orlando vacation? We recommend 2 to 3 days. A lot of people make the mistake of only coming to Universal for 1 day, usually when they're visiting from the Disney parks. However, in order to maximize the amount of things that you can take in at Universal, we think dedicating 2 days so you can spend a day at studios, a day at Islands, and if you're planning to visit Volcano Bay, dedicate a 3rd day to Volcano Bay. That way, you can take it all in, experience the rides, and even take a midday break. If you've watched our schedule video, you know that taking a break is primo to enjoying the parks as much as possible. Speaking of taking a break, that will play into our next tip, but we're gonna give you the next tip as we continue our loop around studios.
number 3 for planning your first trip to Universal Orlando is to pack appropriately. And we recommend packing, well, at least 2 pairs of almost every single item you're going to wear. Socks, undies, shirts, shorts, what have you. 2 pairs for every day you're here. Why? Central Florida is hot. Anywhere between late February to November, you might want to be prepared to sweat all day long. So, when you go back to your hotel room and you take that midday siesta and a nap and a shower, you can feel refreshed by changing your clothes. How hot is Central Florida most of the year? It's hotter than a jalapeño's armpit.
It's hotter than Georgia asphalt.
Hotter than a blister bug in a pepper patch.
It's hotter than the Dickens.
It's hotter than a house fire.
It's hotter than Charizard's flamethrower.
It's hotter than noon on the 4th of July.
It's hotter than 2 rats kissing in a wool sock.
It's hotter than HE double hockey sticks.
It's hotter than a snake's butt in a wagon rut.
It's hotter than a $2 pistol.
It's hotter than the surf of the sun. And not to mention, if you're here in the summer, it's gonna be like walking through soup.
So we hope that helps get across how hot and humid it really is in Central Florida. If you're interested in a packing list that we recommend, be sure to sign up for our email list so we can send you what we suggest you bring and other cool free stuff.
Tip number 4, we can personally attest to the importance of, and that is making dining reservations. Our first trip to Universal, we didn't make dining reservations, and we thought we were gonna be able to just walk into Margaritaville. Boy, were we wrong. The hostess told us it would be about a 3-hour wait, and we were already hungry. We very quickly learned our lesson and got with the hotel concierge to make dining reservations for the rest of the trip, but learn from our mistake. Now, we don't think you need to make dining reservations a month in advance. However, 24, 48 hours in advance is when we recommend, at the minimum, to hop online and make those dining reservations for your Universal Orlando vacation. If you're familiar with our videos, you'll never guess what our 5th tip is.
Our 5th and final tip for newbies coming to Universal for their first time, that is to get to the parks early. Now, if you want to be able to enjoy a leisurely and stress-free vacation here at Universal and you're staying on site, take advantage of early park admission. This way, you can ride Hagrid's, Velocicoaster, experience Diagon Alley before all the crowds arrive. EPA starts an hour before regular park admission, and then the crowds really start to build up around 11 a.m. So, we highly recommend come to the parks early, and if you want more information on how to do EPA right, check out the videos that we've linked below. Those are our 5 tips for planning your first Universal Orlando vacation. We want it to be as stress-free as possible. Now, if you want more help planning your first visit here to Universal, let us know, and we have a website for you to check out so we can help you plan your next adventure. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and stick around for more Universal content. Bye!